By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to expect when the mask drops and the narcissist knows you're onto them. So make sure you stick around till the end of the video because you're going to learn a lot from this one. Let's dive in. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamie M. Joyce. I'm an empowerment life coach specializing in codependency and narcissistic abuse recovery for empaths, scapegoats, and awakening light leaders. If you're new to my channel, a very special welcome. Please take a second to say hello and introduce yourself in the comments section below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified so you never miss a new video. So let's talk about what to expect when the narcissist knows that the mask is slipped and you now see them for who and what they truly are. The thing is, people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism are nothing if not predictable. When you step out of the fog of confusion and start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, when you start taking better care of yourself and start taking your power back, when you're no longer engaging, reacting, or playing in any way, the whole game changes, and the narcissist knows it. Maybe you've caught them red-handed, lying, stealing, cheating, whatever it might be, and they know you know. Or their overinflated sense of entitlement tips their hand and reveals their true nature. Or, in the case of a covert narcissist, their ongoing, never-ending victim stance to circumstances they not only create, but actually perpetuate, has run its course, and you're no longer buying the bullshit. Or maybe you've been the family scapegoat and primary target, and now you're waking up, standing up, and possibly even speaking up. And they know you know exactly who they are better than anyone. Either way, one way or another, they've exposed themselves, and they know you have the capacity to see through them and their phony facade. It's like they're made of plexiglass in your presence, and they can't stand it. So now what? Well, a few things for sure. Again, narcissists are nothing if not predictable. Following are 8 things you can expect when a narcissist knows you know. Number 1, manipulation via love bombing and or gaslighting. First of all, depending on the nature of the relationship, they may try to manipulate you back into the illusion of who they want you to believe they are through either love bombing and or gaslighting. But more often than not, the problem with this is you and they both know it's too late. The mask is slipped. Once you know, you know. They know it and you know it. And they can't unring those bells, although they may give it a shot initially. Number 2, the triggering of deep-seated fear, shame, and insecurity. What typically happens once they know that love bombing and gaslighting aren't going to work with you anymore is they trigger themselves. That's right. Not you, but they trigger their own deep-seated fear, shame, and insecurity by virtue of having slipped up and dropped the mask. And nothing terrifies a narcissist more than the threat of exposure. So this never goes well. Because once their fear, shame, and insecurity have been triggered, they're going to have to lash out, and you will be blamed. If it's a covert narcissist you're dealing with, they'll be more likely to do the lashing out behind your back. Sneaky, spineless little cowards that they are. An overt narcissist, however, will lash out more directly, which leads me to my next point. Number 3, projection. Here's where they quite literally will accuse you, as well as tell anyone else who will listen, that you're the one who's guilty of doing all the things they've actually done to you, as well as accuse you of being all the things they actually are. You'll be accused of committing all the relationship crimes they themselves have committed, and then they'll throw in some extra, just for good measure. You'll be the one who's lied, cheated, was so abusive, such a bully. According to them, you're the one who needs psychological help. Whatever resides in their own disowned shadow self will be cast all over you. And for the record, this is a good time to put some distance between you and the narcissist, in so much as you're able. Whatever you do, do not engage. It doesn't get better from here. The less energy and attention you give to the narcissist, their projections and distorted perception of you in reality, the less you feed the monster, the better. Number 4, they'll gather the troops. This is where they go out of their way to manipulate the perceptions of others towards you, and needless to say, never for the better. They'll plant little seeds, make derogatory remarks, even make things up if motivated enough. Complete fabrications for no other purpose than to assassinate your character and poison the minds and hearts of others towards you. And here's the thing. Not only are narcissists highly toxic, but at their core, despite outward appearances, narcissists are very insecure. Even if they don't appear that way on the surface, I promise you they are. Think about it. People with healthy self-esteem are able to stand on their own without needing others to be aligned with them against their target. But narcissists can't. Why is that? Because they're insecure, shameful little cowards. And insecure, shameful little cowards are likely to do and say whatever they deem necessary in order to turn others against their perceived enemy, while simultaneously casting themselves in an innocent, blameless, and positive light. Good, kind, healthy, loving, decent people don't play these games, but narcissists do, all day long. Now comment below and tell me whether or not you've had the experience of a narcissist gathering the troops against you. And if so, how'd you handle it? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you're struggling with narcissistic abuse in any area of your life, you're likely an excellent candidate for my 8-week transformational coaching program, the Freedom Class. If that's of interest to you, there's a link in the description below where you can apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team. Number 5, the discard. Now, once the mask slips and they know you aren't buying the dog and pony show anymore, there's no supply to be had here, you're done for real. If you haven't left first, there's a really good chance you'll be discarded. But not before they seek out another source of supply. Which brings me to number 6. Seek and find another source of narcissistic supply. If they don't have one lined up already, they'll be on the hunt for a new source. Backup, if you will. Someone to love bomb, commiserate with, exploit, and manipulate into believing what a villain you are and how wonderful they are and how they've been victimized by you. Remember, narcissistic abuse is about living in an inverted reality, right? Everything is upside down, inside out, backward, and not what it appears to be. And the point of lining up another source of supply is so that if you don't drop them like a hot rock first, when they discard you, they're sure they've got somewhere to go. Whether that's someone else to target or someone else to manipulate and exploit, someone to siphon the vital life force energy from, someone else to use and abuse fundamentally. Number 7, the smear campaign. Regardless of who's ending the relationship, the smear campaign is what you can expect when the narcissist realizes they can't have their way with you anymore. So expect the gathering of the troops they've done to this point to graduate to a whole other level with a full-blown smear campaign. This is where they go on an aggressive campaign with intent to malign you, again, to anyone who will listen, twisting, distorting, lying, and omitting large segments of the story, in particular anything that would cast them in a negative light, all designed to paint you as the evil perpetrator while they remain pure as the driven snow. How they manage to pull this off with a straight face, all things considered, is beyond me. But this is what they do. And last but not least, number 8. Things are likely to get a whole lot worse before they get better. The important thing to know about what to expect when a narcissist knows you're onto them is that the volume and intensity of their appalling and abusive attitudes and behavior are going to get worse for a while. This is where you'll see the extent of their emotional immaturity and dark, vengeful nature. Again, decent, kind, loving, relatively healthy people don't behave this way, but narcissists do. So your best course of action is going to be to go no contact if possible. If that's not possible, then use the gray rock method until it is. And if you want to learn more about the gray rock method and how that works, you can watch this video here. But the bottom line is, if you can, keep your composure and do not engage in the drama or the trauma. To the extent that you can disengage, the narcissist will ultimately realize what an exercise in futility it is trying to get a rise or reaction out of you, and as a result will be forced to go elsewhere to get their sick needs met. you aren't meeting them anymore, emotionally, energetically, or otherwise. The more you can show them they and their smear campaign and all the other tactics they use have zero power over you, the faster they'll disappear. Now, with all of that said, once you are clear that the person you're dealing with lands on the spectrum of destructive narcissism, and no, this isn't a diagnosis. We aren't doctors diagnosing personality disorders here. This is about exercising your power of discernment and making an accurate assessment of what you are hearing, seeing, and feeling based on your personal experience. So, once you've established that the person has a destructive narcissist personality pattern based on the personality traits, attitudes, and behavior they present with in relationship to you, if you're able to, hold your cards close to your chest and don't let them know you're onto them. Of course, that won't always be possible, but when it is, be smart, be wise, stay humble, put your ego aside, and stay off their radar. And that means giving up the right fight or the need to have the last word by letting them know you know. If you can do this until you can extricate yourself from the toxic, dysfunctional dynamic that you're in, it'll be in your best interest. You'll be much better off. Why? Because you'll avoid inflicting narcissistic injury, in so much as you're able to anyway. Depending on the circumstances and the nature of your relationship, you won't always be able to avoid injuring a narcissist. Their egos are incredibly fragile and hypersensitive to any perceived criticism or rejection. Even the slightest hint of rejection is enough to inflict narcissistic injury. And once you've done so, you'll likely be a target, whether that be passively or aggressively. So, if keeping your mouth shut, your ego out of it, and not tipping your hand and letting them know you're onto them is an option, choose it. Again, you'll be much better off. And if you want a deeper dive on narcissistic injury and rage, you can watch this video here. When you determine that someone you know is a narcissist, understand there's no need, or point really, in telling them. It's not going to help or improve anything, I assure you. Narcissists do not change, and telling them they're a narcissist is likely only going to backfire on you. If your assessment is accurate, all you'll do is trigger narcissistic injury and possibly rage, and now you'll have a bigger target on your back than you otherwise would have. Instead, muster up a little humility, observe quietly and wisely while you figure out how to get the hell out of there. And with that, I'm going to call it a wrap. But before I go, how can Tamie M Coaching help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell to make sure you get my new video every Friday. Number 2, watch my free web class by clicking on the link in the description below. You'll learn about my personal journey and professional experience through decades of research specific to healing and recovery from codependency and narcissistic abuse. You'll also learn about some powerful strategies that you can begin to use today. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and you'd like to be supported by a stellar community of like-minded people who are focused on solutions that actually work, you can learn more about my 8-week transformational coaching program, the Freedom Class, by going to www.tamiemcoaching.com and clicking on programs and reviews for all the details. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to break free from painful relationship patterns permanently and actually make lasting progress in your healing and recovery, go to tamiemcoaching.com and click on Apply Now to learn how you can become my client.